All right, get ready to dive deep because today we're going way back, like way, way back.
Before iPhones, before the wheel, before...
Okay, maybe not quite that far back, but close.
We're talking about the shift from hunter-gatherer societies to the very first farming villages.
A shift so monumental, it literally changed the course of human history.
It really is incredible when you think about it. For the vast majority of human existence, our ancestors lived as nomads.
Always on the move, following food sources wherever they could find them.
Completely reliant on nature's generosity.
Which, let's be honest, could be pretty fickle. No stocked pantries in those days.
No, not at all. These were resourceful people, though.
Skilled hunters, gatherers, they knew how to read the land.
They had to. Understanding the seasons, animal behavior, knowing which plants were edible and which were, well, not so much.
Essential skills when your next meal literally depends on it.
It was a life that demanded incredible knowledge and adaptability.
And these weren't just random groups of people wandering around, right? I mean, these were structured societies.
Absolutely. With complex social structures, finely tuned to ensure survival. We often have this image of early humans as, brutish cavemen.
Big and strong, but not a lot going on upstairs.
Right. But in reality, these were tight-knit communities where cooperation was essential.
And their tools.
Incredibly sophisticated for the time. They might seem simple to us now, but those tools represent generations of knowledge passed down and refined.
The napping techniques used to create those spear points, the understanding of how to select the right materials.
Exactly. It's a testament to human ingenuity, even back then.
Makes you appreciate your supermarket even more, doesn't it?
It does. Though, to be fair, they didn't have to worry about choosing between almond milk or oat milk.
True. But, okay, we've got these adaptable, resourceful groups surviving, even thriving in some cases. But as you said, it was precarious. Entirely at the whims of nature.
And that's what makes the next chapter so fascinating.
The one where humans decide to, take matters into their own hands.
The dawn of agriculture.
And everything changes. So no more chasing gazelles across the savannah. We've got humans settling down, putting down roots. Literally, what does this new world look like? What are these early villages like?
Well, imagine this. For generations, your people have moved from place to place, seeking shelter in caves or building temporary structures.
Always on the move?
Exactly. And suddenly, you're establishing a more permanent home. These early villages, they were bustling cities, of course.
More like really big campsites, right?
You could say that.
Yeah.
But they represent a monumental shift in human behavior. We start to see more durable structures made from mud brick or timber.
A sign that people are planning to stick around for a while.
Exactly. No more packing up your hut every time the food source moves on. And that stability, even in its earliest forms, had profound implications.
Because now you've got, free time? You're not spending every waking hour hunting and gathering just to survive?
It allows humans to think beyond immediate survival. They can start to plan for the future, invest in their surroundings, and crucially, develop new technologies.
This is where we get those aha moments, right? Like, hey, I've got all this extra time on my hands. I wonder what would happen if I took this rock and boom, pottery.
You've got it. We see pottery becoming more sophisticated and widespread around this time. And it wasn't just for practical storage, but also for decoration, ritual purposes even.
Art and religion emerging alongside these early villages.
Exactly. And then there's metallurgy.
Ooh, metal, the Bronze Age, swords and helmets.
Well, not quite swords and helmets yet, but the ability to melt and shape metal, even in its earliest forms, that's a game changer.
Imagine you're a farmer with a bronze plow instead of a wooden one.
Night and day. You can work the land more efficiently, clear more land, grow more food. It's a perfect example of the ripple effect you get with increased stability and resources.
And all that extra food, that surplus, it leads to another big development, one that's still shaping our lives today.
Specialization of labor. Because if not, everyone has to spend all their time hunting, gathering, or even farming.
They can, get into pottery full-time or become the village blacksmith.
Precisely. We see evidence of increasingly specialized roles within these early villages. Craftspeople, religious leaders, warriors, even early forms of governance start to emerge.
Wait, warriors, governance. Things are getting complicated. It's not all sunshine and pottery anymore, huh?
Well, as populations grew, so did competition for resources and power. And that's where things start to get really interesting.
So it's not all kumbaya around the campfire anymore. We've got competition, we've got power struggles. Sounds like the seeds of civilization as we know it.
It really is remarkable, isn't it? Those early villages, they weren't static. They were dynamic hubs, constantly evolving, expanding, and yes, sometimes even collapsing under pressure.
A little too much competition for the best farmland, maybe?
Perhaps. But the point is, this is where we see the emergence of more complex social hierarchies. Leaders become more powerful, controlling resources, wielding influence.
And probably settling those disputes over who gets the best pottery.
I wouldn't be surprised. But alongside all of that, we also see the rise of organized religion, these elaborate rituals and belief systems developing alongside these burgeoning societies.
Because you need something to keep those power struggles in check, right?
Perhaps, or perhaps it's more about finding meaning and order in a world that's suddenly become a lot more complex.
That makes sense. It's not just about survival anymore. There's room for, well, bigger questions. And speaking of complexity, what about those specialized roles we were talking about? That must have had a huge impact on human relationships.
Absolutely. With specialization of labor, you get a different kind of social structure. You've got artisans, merchants, priests, warriors. Your place in society is no longer just about your family group. It's about your skills and your role within a much larger, much more intricate system.
So from everyone needing to be a jack of all trades to a world where you specialize, sounds familiar.
It's the earliest version of our modern job market, and it highlights just how profoundly this shift to agriculture reshaped the human experience. I mean, think about it. The food we eat, the jobs we have, the way we organize ourselves.
And the fact that we have jobs, that we're not all out there chasing gazelles right now.
Exactly. It all traces back to those early villages and the incredible ingenuity of our ancestors.
Those early farmers who took a chance on a new way of life and, in doing so, changed the world forever. Well, folks, there you have it. From nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled villagers, the birth of agriculture, and the ripple effects that continue to shape our lives today. It makes you wonder, what will be the next great leap forward? And what unexpected consequences will it bring? Only time will tell. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.